Hi, welcome to part 2 of Hinduism PowerPoint, where we'll go over the caste system and then everything in the rest of that PowerPoint. Excuse my background, it's my bedroom, but my kids are being really noisy downstairs and someone is using my office, so I'm recording this here. So, hey, a little up close and personal, right? All right, so let us take a look at the caste system. Let's see. Here we go. Let me just go here. Okay. All right, so the caste system is the social system that they have in place that actually started in the Middle Ages, and right now it's officially abolished by the the modern day system, because they have a social system in place that's like modern and westernized, and they have a dual parliamentary system in the government, and obviously something from the Middle Ages can't remain extant in the modern period. So they kind of officially abolished it when India got its independence, but parts of it still remain because the caste system is kind of intrinsically tied in with Hinduism. So let me explain that part first. The caste system is a social system, and in Hinduism they believe that if you don't achieve Atman Brahman, which we covered in the last video, uniting your individual soul with the universal soul, that you will get reborn. So they believe in reincarnation, where your soul keeps getting recycled into a new life until it achieves Atman Brahman. So your own kind of personal hell is living this life where you just keep living, your soul just keeps getting reborn and reborn into a new body until you achieve Atman Brahman. Now, the way that the caste system is tied into that is when you're reborn into a different level of the caste system. So if you did a really great job at your caste in your previous life, you'll be reborn in a higher caste. If you didn't and kind of just sat around and did nothing, you will be reborn into a lower caste. And it actually can move down even further, like you could be reborn as a dog if you don't even do well enough in your, even the lowest caste, okay? So there are two parts to the caste. The first part is the Varna, which is your class division in the caste system. And then the second part is the Jati, which is your caste division. So the caste is like a job or an occupation within the caste system. And the Varna, which is the class division, is like what level of society you are born in. Okay? So there are your Varna, which really means purity, is really based on your access or your proximity to things that are traditionally unclean, like blood or death or bodily fluids or decaying bodies or flesh. Then this is both like human and animal. So these are traditionally unclean things. So your level or Varna, class level, is higher if you don't have that much access to that. So for example, the Brahmin Varna, this is the highest level. This would include occupations or jatis like teachers or professors or governmental positions or lawyers. So it doesn't matter about the how ethical it would be or how moral it is or how smart it is. If, as a professor, I'm in the Brahmin caste because I don't really, go near dead bodies or blood or any of that. And mostly it's just shuffling papers and computers. So I would be in the highest class. Doesn't, even if I don't get paid much, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about morals, ethics, wealth, greed, none of that. It's your access to those things that are impure. So I'm not gonna go over these, but these are the 5 Varnas right here. Make sure that you take a look at those. And then the Jatis, the jobs or occupations, they are constrained by these rules. So make sure that you take a look at those rules. So everyone is constrained, or me, the Brahmin, all the way down to the untouchables, must marry within your own caste. You have to eat with members of your own caste. You have to have the same job as your family or caste. And then physically, you should maintain your own ritual purity. So all of these rules basically say, stick with your own kind. Okay, so make sure that you take a look at that. Okay, in terms of the caste system, just one more thing about it. A lot of people point to the caste system as it being kind of unfair, that some people are better than others and they are born into this kind of privilege. But according to the Hindus, even though this caste system is officially abolished, many people still hold on to a lot of their beliefs. In Hinduism, they say, at least we're honest. Like they say, yes, some people are born at a higher level than others, but at least we lay it out on the line. Unlike, let's say, the United States, where they might say, oh no, we're a democracy and everyone has equal rights and everyone has individual liberties. And then you come here and that's not true. There's definitely a higher, middle, and lower class. And we even have government regulations that outline privileges for some versus others. So here we claim to be a democracy, but it's clearly a hierarchy. In India, those who still subscribe to the caste system say at least they're honest, that there's a class system. Okay, so that's the social system. Make sure that you take a look at that. In terms of gender roles, right? The overall society, even though it's modern, is generally patriarchal or male-based. Roles for women, it's, even though some women can be lawyers and doctors and become very successful, in terms of the traditional roles, even though there are huge improvements, in India overall, there's a very traditional sense of the role for women and pretty limited. You should be a daughter. You should get married because then you join your husband's family. You should definitely have sons because those sons will take care of you. And then if you're able to get married and have children, you're pretty much set. So if any of those things happen, you become very disenfranchised easily. So make sure you take a look at that chapter, or that paragraph about roles for women. Now, traditional roles designed for men, I got this straight from the Smith book, so you should be able to recognize this information. There is the student phase, the householder, elder retirement, and the potential ascetic phase for men. So everyone will go through the student phase where you learn about, who you are and about your religion. Householder is where you take care of your own kids and your parents as a son or as a male. And then you enter your retirement phase where if you were a really good householder, you should have enough money to kind of reflect about life and, to try to think about Atman Brahman. And then if you can take that extra step, you can go abandon your family and go off in search of a guru or a yogi in order to truly achieve Atman Brahman. But most people can't do that. So take a look at the Smith reading. He has a more expanded definition or explanation for these traditional roles for men. Okay, so make sure you take a look at that. All right, so what is Hinduism? I got this straight from the Smith book once again, so make sure you take a look. We currently exist in something called samsara, which is our reality. All right, it's just an endless procession of events. It's just stuff that happens that are like really of no importance because everything is artificial and unreal. Okay, we exist in this artificial world called samsara, and we feel like it's real, we feel like it's important, but it really isn't. So technically, when we are reborn, our souls are reborn, constantly being reborn into new bodies. This is like hell. It's like a hamster on a wheel where you just can't get off, okay? Our goal is to just get off of that wheel, get out of this samsara, and that is called moksha, which means salvation or liberation, and that's what happens when you achieve Atman Brahman, okay? So we want to get out of samsara, all right? Well, what can we use? Well, we can use karma, which is the energy of the universe. This is something that keeps the world moving. It keeps it moving forward, even though this world is artificial, even though this is unreal, even though we're stuck here, it's constantly moving forward. So we can either go with the flow of karma or we can fight against it. All right, so if everyone is your enemy, you're not going with the flow. If you're giving, if you have friends, you have family, you're married, you are, participate in your neighborhood, you attend lots of stuff, you participate, you give back, you're going with the flow. So you can use that energy of the universe to be at peace with yourself and also be at peace with your world. Okay? We can also use dharma, which is our duty or role in society. Like, who are we in society? Well, I am a mother, I'm a teacher, I'm a friend, I'm a sister. My parents are both dead, but at one point I was a daughter, and these are all parts of my dharma. That's who I am, right? So I want to be the best mother, wife, friend, teacher, sibling. That's what I want to be. I want to be that person. So I can use my dharma to kind of propel me forward into achieving Atman Brahman. All right? To be the best person I can be. Now, question, why don't we realize we are suffering? Because we are in a state of avidya, which is ignorance about samsara. I feel like this world around me is real, right? That's because I'm in avidya. I just don't know that it's actually artificial. And why? Why am I in this state of avidya? Because I have layers of maya, which are veils of illusion, that every time I desire something or every time I think something is real, I have now placed a layer of illusion over me, right? So let's just say, oh, I'm hungry. Yes, my body feels like it's hungry. Well, that's a desire, and that's another layer of maya that blocks my perception of the reality that I'm currently in. It's kind of confusing. So what is the true way to moksha? Well, you can go on one of these 4 paths. So I would say go look at the Smith book for this, because my descriptions are pretty short, but they're absolutely based on the Smith reading. So make sure you read the book, and I'm going to expect you to have a very good understanding of these 4 paths. Okay? Basically, there are 4 paths. One of them is Gnana Yoga, and this is the path based on knowledge. This is the hardest one, and I'll make sure you take a look at that. Second one is the Bhakti Yoga. This is the path to achieve Atman Brahman based on love. This is when you go worship a god and the god will help you achieve Atman Brahman. So both Shaivism and Vaishnavism fit into this branch. And Bhakti Yoga is also the most popular branch in Hinduism. About 95% of Hindus practice Bhakti Yoga. All right, so in the same way that Jnana Yoga, or the first one, is the hardest, so you don't have that many people doing it, the second one, the Bhakti Yoga, is the most popular, and that's where you worship gods like Vishnu and Shiva. Okay? Third one is Karma Yoga. This is the one based on kind of regulating and ordering your life so that your mind is free to achieve Atman Brahman. So that's called the work yoga. If you're the type of person that's disciplined and like to organize things, then this is the path for you. And then the last one is Raja Yoga or Kriya Yoga, which is the traditional sense of yoga that you understand, where it's the only one you do by yourself. And essentially through meditation and yoga, you strip the layers off until you get to the core, which is Atman Brahman. Okay? So make sure you take a look, and then this one also has 8 steps, the last one. All right, so final information. There are 2 categories of religious leaders in Hinduism: Brahmin priests, and that's like in Bhakti Yoga, they would go help you achieve, help you study and worship, help you do rituals and stuff to the gods so they can help you achieve Atman Brahman. So they're the ones kind of the public helpers, okay? And then you can go and kind of meditate and learn yoga with a guru or a yogi, and they generally are outside of society. Okay, they're not like mainstream. You would have to go seek them out. Basically, how do you live according to, as a basic Hindu, you live according to your dharma. Be the best person that you can be in the role that you have. And then live according to your varna. What status level are you born into? And be that best person you can be. That's actually part of your dharma, by the way. And then in terms of Hinduism in the world, it's a non-conversion religion because everyone is a Hindu. So everyone is a Hindu. It's non-missionary because every god is a mask of the Brahman. And that would include Jesus or Allah or Yahweh, the God of Judaism. So that's that. Hopefully that's helpful in terms of understanding the PowerPoint. And I will see you again for the Buddhism PowerPoint, which I will also divide into 2. All right, great. See you later.